Hey guys, this video is going to be all about how you maximize your productivity and happiness using your new Rocketbook Panda Planner. This is Mike Leip. I'm the creator of Panda Planner, and I want to guide you through how you can get the most out of this by using this in an efficient and effective way in order to get the most benefit. So first off, we've got the annual planning pages here. These are going to give you space to plan the events that are beyond the scope of this planner. So you can write in the dates or the months in there, and then the dates and the event that'll be in the future. So when it's time to wipe down your pages, erase them, and copy them new, you can copy these events into your planner when it's the appropriate time. That way you're not going to lose any track of anything. And of course, with the Rocketbook technology, you can always scan the pages and bring it up to the cloud, so you've got record of it forever. That's a cool new feature that I'm not used to talking about because that's Rocketbook technology. And this is why it's a great combination of Rocketbook and Panda Planners. You get the best of both. So that is your annual planning section. And then, of course, you've got your monthly planning section. This is the classic month overview. So you've got room to put in all your dates here. We left the days of the week off here. So some people like a Monday start, some people like a Sunday start. So you can decide what is better for you and put in the days here. Then we've also got, this is, of course, where your appointments, you can put these here. Oh, let's go back. I went too fast. So we've got the daily habit up here. If you want to track your daily habit, you can write it in. So say it's meditation, you would write that in here and then check off these boxes as you go along. Then of course we've got these tasks box here. This could be your top goal for the week or just something else that you want to get done that week that you want to keep track of. And note spaces, that's pretty self-explanatory. Use that however you would like. Now this is the goals section. I recommend doing the goals section, or at least touching base with it every quarter, but this can be done annually. And it's a sort of methodical, very deliberate process of going through how to get everything out of your head, everything onto paper, prioritize it, and set yourself up so you can have the best shot at getting it done. So I'm going to walk you through how to do all that. So the first section here is sort of like a brain dump. You're going to write down anything and everything. Write down anything that you want to get done in here, and then you're going to take some time to review all of them and put a star next to the ones that you think are the most important. Those are going to be your priorities. These are going to become some things that you want to act on. And then you want to decide on what your goals are and choose up to 3 goals. You could have just one, that's totally fine and actually recommended. But try not to have more than 3 because it's going to be easy to get distracted if you're trying to pursue too many things at once. And then you're going to want to look at what are the metrics that you're going to be looking at on a daily basis. Now, these examples in here might not be perfect, but and a good example is here, like if your goal is to get in shape, your target metric might be way between 170 and 178 pounds by June 1st. So you've got a very specific metric, you've got a range, so you can, that way you're not holding yourself to a very specific target, but you can fall within that range and still consider it successful. And then you've got a date so that you make sure that you're going up against a specific time when you're going to get that metric done. Then you want to reverse engineer your goal and figure out what are the milestones that will happen along the way. And these are kind of just like, when you think about a goal, what are the things that must happen in order for that goal to happen? And then you can fill out in your milestones for each goal. And the letters here are A, B, C. So all your goals are going to be considered A, B, C. You want to just make sure that they align up. And then you want to think about what are the key habits, the daily habits that you can implement that'll help make your goal sort of inevitable. Though if you've read The Power of Habit, they talk about keystone habits. What are the important habits that kind of set you up for success? So this might be a morning routine, where a morning routine is going to set you up to be a lot more effective throughout the day. Or it could be using a daily planner. Using a daily planner, obviously for me, was very important. And that's why I run this company, is that using a planner kind of changed my life from being very disorganized and not getting stuff done to getting stuff done. So that was a very key habit for me to make sure that I focused on. The roadmap is taking those milestones and that reverse engineering the goal and then laying it out on this quarter. So for the next 13 weeks, what are the things that need to happen for each goal? Again, A, B, C here. What are the things that need to happen each week in order for you to hit that goal? So these are just quick examples, but you want to fill those in and be very thoughtful about how you're going to, what are all the steps you're going to do each week in order to be moving consistently towards hitting your goals. Now, obstacles here is this is like a pre-mortem. You want to think about what could go wrong and then give yourself some contingency plans for how you can get around it. So you're going to list here the obstacles outside of yourself and then personal internal obstacles that are inside yourself, emotional obstacles. And you want to just think about these things. And then you want to come up with if-then routines for if these things come up, what are ways that you can get around them? So it's like, all right, if this happens, then do this. And you want to be very intentional about planning that out, because those are the things that usually sidetrack a goal or any kind of plan, is that you get something will come up that you could have seen coming in advance. It wasn't like, you didn't want it to happen, but it wasn't necessarily a surprise. You could have expected it. But because you weren't prepared and you didn't have a specific plan, that's how you can get derailed and kind of throw off. So doing this ahead of time is going to set you up to be very successful in approaching your goals. Then you're going to want to start to build up the motivation. And this is key because working toward goals is hard. Oftentimes we're doing stuff that we don't want to do. So we need to be able to dig into our internal motivation. So the things that really fire us up, and getting back in touch with that will help us to be able to push through the things that are really a struggle for us. So first you want to explain why hitting these goals is important to you. And then you want to think about what are the top benefits from achieving these goals. Like, what's your family going to look like afterwards? Now, this step is really important for identity. You want to tie it into something about yourself. So in the example here, we have, I am a runner. I run at least a mile per day, and I will finish a half marathon to be an example of perseverance for my family. So this is like really clearly like tying it into your identity that you are a runner. And when you tie habits and goals into your identity, this is what sort of sets people apart to be able to push through the struggle and to continue doing it, because they're like, no, I have to. That's part of my identity. I am a runner. If I don't run today, then I'm not a runner. And I've decided I am a runner. So this needs to be an important part of my life. Then you want to look at what the rewards for hitting your goals. So you have something to look forward to. And then continually to building on the motivation factor, where you want to look at what is your life going to be like after you hit your goals. This is like a visualization. So start to look at, like, write down in detail what your life looks like. How does it feel? What does your day-to-day look like? What's your relationships look like? And then think about what's at stake if you don't hit your goals. So, like, where are you going to be? This is sort of a little bit to kind of light a fire under you a little bit, is like, usually we set goals because it's something we want in our life. But if we don't do it, things often just stay the same, or sometimes they could get worse. So think about what is at stake if you don't hit your goals. And that's an important thing to help keep you motivated. And then finally, you want to commit. And this is just a fun little commit statement for you just to remind yourself that you're committed to hitting your goals, and you understand it's not going to be easy, and that when you're feeling stuck, you can come back and review your motivation, but you're committed to just like taking action today. So you can sign this here and just have like an official committing to yourself that you're going to get this done. And I think that's an important sort of ceremony to go through to really lock into yourself that you're committing to get these things done. Then we're going to go into the weekly reviews. So this area here, we're going to want to look at progress on goals. You can circle where you're at progress on goals, and if you have more than one, you can write them under here. So if you circled an 8, you could put an A under that. Maybe your B goal is only at a 2, you circle that and put a B right underneath it, and then your C goal is at a 5. You would circle that and put a C right underneath it here. And then you want to look through reviewing your big wins from last week. And the celebrate part here is because we're often very bad at taking the time to give ourselves credit. So instead of just writing them down, you want to take a moment, and before you check that box, take a moment to really celebrate it. Give yourself credit and to really appreciate the fact that happened last week, that you got that done, or it happened to you, that something in your life is worth celebrating and that you're very happy to have it. This is an important, it might seem a little bit silly, but all of these things are very carefully thought through and based on proven research and different interventions that have been shown to be effective at shifting our outlook from negative to positive. And then this is a section here where you can go through what are some things you learned, or think about more about how you're going to improve. And then we're going to want to look forward to this upcoming week and think about how we're going to make it great in all different areas of our life, in our personal life, our work life, our family, our friends, and any relationship that you may or may not be pursuing. If you don't have a relationship that you're pursuing that's not currently a priority, you could just cross that out and put an area that is important to you. Then you have your daily habits down here. You're going to want to write both of your whatever 2 habits. Again, ideally not trying to pursue more than 2 habits at a time, because it takes a lot of willpower until you can really solidify them as habits. So write them down here, and then you check off the days and you do it here on the weekly part. You could also be checking off your habit on the monthly part. It's up to you where you want to track it. We give you multiple options, but don't feel like you need to do all of them. Then here, your projects, notes, and planning, you can kind of just write things out here and then plan your goals for the week based on that. No, I'm getting kind of a little bit all over the place. And then this section down here is to plan your week. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we've got 3 spaces here. Some people use this for meal planning. There's 3 spaces. It fits well, or breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I like to plan based on my goals. What are the tasks that need to get done? And then in an ideal week, what 3 top priorities am I going to get done every day towards hitting those goals? So figure out what kind of system works for you, but you can use this weekly section to plan out an ideal week, and it'll give you a good starting point and a good target to move towards as you move into the week. Oh, Oh, now we're checking off our habits. All right. So let's get into the daily section, and this is kind of like the main section you're going to be using, obviously, on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to start with going through your morning routine. You start with 3 things that you're grateful for. Meditate, and that's important. Now, this is a new addition that we've recently added, and before it used to be sort of we'd have it as an option. We'd recommend it, but now we hardwired it into the planner by having a section dedicated to meditation, because there's just too many benefits to ignore. It just is such an important part that we really recommend everyone adapt it in some capacity. Anywhere from 3 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day is going to give you some benefit. Obviously, more is an option as well, if that's what you're into. But try and make that part of your morning routine. So you might go into meditation, then go straight into your gratitude exercise, and you want to do 3 things that you're grateful for. Just like all the times where we practice this, it's really important to spend the time to search and think about the things in your life that you have to appreciate, and then to try and conjure up the feeling of appreciation. Think about how lucky you are to have the opportunity to enjoy that thing. So for example, of my family, instead of just thinking of my family and just writing it down and skipping it, you want to think about the relationship you have with your family and how fortunate you are to have the opportunities to spend with them and to be able to really appreciate the interaction and the support and the love that you might get from them. Then we have the I'm excited about section. The I'm excited about section is going to be for positive anticipation, things that you're looking forward to. You want to really build that up. But it also could be things that you're feeling a little bit nervous about. Try and then position it, instead of feeling nervous about it, that you're excited about. And try and actually feel in your body. And you can even stand up and say to yourself out loud 3 times, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. And so by building that positive anticipation, or kind of reframing your feelings as excitement, it's going to put you in a really good mental and physiological space to start pursuing your day. A personal affirmation. I really recommend strength-based affirmations. I like, if you look at the VIA character strengths, I like affirming to yourself things that you know about yourself are true. I think you can play with this yourself. Some people have all sorts of success with affirmations, but there are certain groups of people, especially people who are dealing with depression, where affirmations about things that they don't feel are true of themselves can have actually a negative benefit. So I would really recommend, if you have any kind of mental health issues you're dealing with, make sure that your affirmations are based about things that you believe about yourself. Find your strengths, do a VIA character strengths, and find out what your top strengths are and affirm those things to yourself. So for example, one of my top strengths is creativity. And so something I could affirm to myself when I'm feeling kind of down is that I'm a really creative person. And affirming to myself, like, I do believe that. I know that I'm a creative person. I know I have that possibility inside myself. So it doesn't feel like a lie. It doesn't feel like the sort of BS detector in your brain isn't going off. And it makes me feel a little better about myself. And doing that over time will start to make you feel better. And that's kind of the goal of the affirmation section. The focus section is, what are the most important things that you want to focus on that day? Or, it could be your work tasks in the morning, making sure that those get done. That's a really big focus for you today. Or it could be spending more time with my kids. I like to use this section where I track the number of what I call mini sprints, like about a 50 to 55 minute focused work session. If you've read Cal Newport's Deep Work, it's that type of approach where I set a timer, I block out distractions, and I just try and focus on work. And when I'm successful, I track them here, little tally marks, and I'm trying to get to 3 to 5 focused hours of work each day, and this is where I track it. And then figure out what your exercise is going to be today. You want to just get yourself moving. Just like meditation, there are just too many benefits to ignore exercise that we really want to make it part of our daily routine. So that's your morning routine. And then now we're going to get into your priorities. And these are the non-negotiable tasks that you want to get done today to make today a success. So figure out what are the top 5 things. You can really break these down. You can have less also. If it's just 3 important things today or 1 important thing, make sure you just write that out. Don't feel like you have to fill this in. Just really fill this in with what are the top most important things to get done today. And sometimes less is better. Sometimes if you have too many here, it can feel overwhelming. So sometimes it's better to start with just 1. But write them out here. And again, the way I like to work on these is each one of these gray blocks for me is like an hour sprint, a little mini sprint. So if I can break up my work into 5 mini sprints for the day and I can get those done, that's a really successful day. And I'm tracking those little sprints here in the focus. Then we've got the schedule here. These are broken down into half-hour blocks. So from 5 to 9 at night. So this is 5, this is 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, etc. Feel free to fill this in and kind of block off time as you need it for whatever is important for you for that day, just like you would any other schedule. I don't need to tell you how to use a schedule. You know how to use that. And then the tasks and notes section here. So each one of these has a little checkbox for when you get your tasks done throughout the day, just like that. And then this is just a note section. You can fill it in however you want. Now at night, you want to go through your evening routine and go over 3 things that went well today. And this is going to be important to really, just like with the gratitude, take the time to really feel those things and celebrate them. Ideally, you want to do this right before you go to sleep, and you can kind of get your brain in the habit of reflecting positively on what happened that day. It also just will help you to sleep better. If you can put yourself mentally in a state that you're getting things done, today was good, and that you have things to celebrate, it's just a great way to set yourself up to go to sleep. And the how I'll improve, this is written in this way very specifically, so it's not to look at something negative, it's to look at it as a positive. So it's like, all right, what's my opportunity to get better here, as opposed to like, things went wrong. So look at any kind of setbacks that you had today as an opportunity to improve, and then figure out exactly how you'll improve and write it here. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you're going to maximize your productivity and your happiness using your Rocketbook Panda Planner. I hope you get a lot out of it, and thanks so much for being part of our community.